move now to Vilakazi Street, where we find our reporter Pelane Phakgadi. Pelane, one of the things we're hearing from the business operator that was speaking to RT a short while ago is that they want authorities and officials to come on the ground to see how businesses have been battered on the ground. If the nation could move to level 2 or even adjusted level 2, Pelane, some of those businesses where you are may still be part of those that are excluded from economic activity.
Definitely, Bongi, and I can tell you that the challenges over the last few years, in the last year in itself, has literally been the challenge of trying to get people here in the areas, and one of them, as you can see here at Vilakazi Street, has been literally on the issue of asking the president really to come down to see what people are really trying to do here. The businesses are trying to comply, but at the same time really having been heard. Let me take you back, Bongi, where there were now challenges that the businesses, quite a number of them were already coming through to ask for rescue simply because they were unable to now pay rent, they were unable to pay the stock that they had, and were unable really to function with the regulations that were in place. And at this stage, their only plea to government really is to try and ease those restrictions, and should they be eased, they could be able now to operate beyond 9 o'clock, because they're expected to close at 9, so that at 10 o'clock people are now there in their homes to adhere to the curfew. So we are expecting, of course, that leeway could be adhered to, that leeway could be given to the businesses so that people could be able to operate, and therefore the jobs that have been lost could be, resuscitated, and as well as the economy at streets such as this, one iconic street in the heart of Soweto, and it being revitalized really would bring about some much needed change. I can tell you that the businesses not as buzzing as Maboneng where we were, but there is still movement.
I wonder, Pelane, how much of a concern is the vaccination, drive where you are for those business owners, especially because it's not picking up as government would have hoped it would be by now?
Definitely, and it's not really picking up. As you can see in the numbers, they are not going to the 300,000 that the country has been hopeful for, to say that at least a day, if the country could vaccinate the 300,000, then we could be well underway to reach that herd immunity, 67% of the population being inoculated. But if that does not happen, really, I'm sure the lockdown regulations and the much anticipated level 1 may take a while before we get to it. Of course, there's already talk about a fourth wave coming. A lot of people and a lot of researchers saying that when the fourth wave really hits, and it finds that people have not been vaccinated in their numbers, then businesses such as these will again experience some sort of regulation once more. And there will be adjustment to what we find, and there may be another closure, and the businesses might again be affected once more. And that in itself is something I would want to believe that the business owners are trying to run away from. And hopefully when we're going to be talking to some of them here later on at around 7 o'clock, we'll be hearing firsthand from them, Bongi, about the kind of urgency that they've been having to community members, the partnerships that they may be having with the public sector, about trying to urge people when they do come in to have a drink or two to also think about vaccinating if they have not already been inoculated.